I wish there were some, more magical secret sauce to this. Uh, but it really is just as simple as like, hey, I want to do this thing. Can you help me do this thing? And we're back in our main directory here. First, now let's go ahead and create a few skills that will help us repeat this process even more efficiently in the future. All right, so we're going to let it go ahead and create some. Which parts of the pipeline do you want to reuse on other projects or subjects, not just Mamdani? Well, definitely video scraping and download, the transcription pipeline. I mean, let's just say all of them. Skills can be standalone, one big skill, or modular, several small skills that can chain together. How do we want these organized? I think we should probably have one hybrid, one orchestrator with four stage skills, but I think it might be nice to just make them modular so we can be more flexible and we can call those in on different projects even if we don't need all of them. So let's do modular. And should they be installed globally for all projects or just for this project? Now, normally, I would say globally. And I'm going to say that for now, but project-only skills can get really specific because you don't have to worry about them sort of infecting or bleeding into other projects, especially ones that have hooks that are called automatically. So for this, I'm actually just going to go ahead. You know what? I said I was going to do global, but I'm going to do project only. And do we want these bundled as a proper Claude Code plugin with a plugin.json, some versioning, and in being installable by others, or just as loose skill files? I think let's go with proper full plugin just to show you what that's like. And I'll include the link to try or test out or copy these skills in the resources for this module. And you can see in order to make the skill, Anthropic actually already has preloaded official plugin development skills that let you create your own plugins. And it's called one of those skills now, which is the appropriate time for it to do so. All right, I'm just going to speed through this a little bit, making it generic. We have all four skills that we want to do. This is our target users. It's giving us our plugin structure. Here's the component plan. And again, for simplicity, I'm just going to be approving all of this. But I would expect you to sort of take a little more time and be a little bit more particular if you want these things to be as optimized as possible. And you can see here the structure, as we discussed earlier, our video analysis plugin, our Claude plugin settings, and then each individual skill.md file in the requisite subfolder or parent folder, and then different scripts that are associated with each one. Okay, for video download, should it ask for users interactively or expect them as arguments? Let's say interactively, and have it guide it through. For transcribe, should it auto-detect the best whisper model? Let's say auto-detect. Let's auto-detect. For video frame, should it be, I'm going to say included. Should it generate a fixed HTML template or let the user customized? Customizable, of course. All right, all of our decisions are locked in. It's going to summarize what we're building and then start building it. And you can see here, boom, there they are. Let's get rid of that. For our video dashboard, we don't have anything in there because it's still writing. There's our skill.md. Again, not a super complex code document or code-based file, just Markdown with a little bit of bash commands in there that the bot knows how to interact with. You can write these by hand, or you can have the bot write it for you and just review it along the way. And then, of course, testing it to make sure it works. And we've already done that. We've already tested the whole pipeline. So now we're just codifying the rules that we were able to glean from that process and making them officially a workflow process that is shareable and repeatable. Again, I wish there was, a special magic to it or some kind of like secret knowledge that I could claim to have that only I could do this. But I mean, I don't wish that, but The reality is that it's super simple. You just talk through and describe what you want, make sure that it works, and then when it does, you say, okay, let's save this for later. It's really not that complicated at this level. And that's why I say, you should be using these tools to make things that don't require these tools in order to run. Things like Python scripts and other workflows that take AI to set up, maybe if you don't know how to write them yourself, but ultimately they are self-contained to as much of a degree as possible for future iterations. Okay, it's almost done. It's got the video dashboard one here. It's got steps, ask which sections to include, configure the topic keywords, ask the user about customization, then run the content analysis, generate the dashboard as a single HTML file. It even has another README for this plugin itself. And because we want to make sure that it is good, we also need a webpage/HTML file that looks good and explains what this plugin does, how to use it, and has some examples and maybe some SVG animations that provide a clear picture for beginners who want to use it. And you can see here the vision analyses agents are done. So it's going to rerun the content analysis and incorporate that frame analysis data and then commit everything. And then it's picking up my other task here as well. We should see an index.html somewhere here, possibly under the web or docs file here. We'll see where this shows up, possibly in here for the plugin, but we'll find out. Okay, it looks like the documentation page is done. Let me take a screenshot so you can see it, it says. So here we go. We've got a web page. Look at that with our SVG animation baked in, just like that. Boom. I love that. We've got different skills listed out, each of the 4. We've got an example workflow, and we've got a requirements list. So now, not only have we processed an incredible amount of data in less than 2 hours, we have something for our bosses, and we have something for our colleagues and the rest of the research and journalism community. And you didn't have to pay for any external services. It was all done right here on your computer or on my computer with your existing Claude Code or Gemini or CLI, Codex CLI subscription. So huge benefits, huge cost reductions. Can't really beat that. And if you're wondering, okay, so how do we know this works from the skills perspective? Let's go ahead and test it. So what do we want to do? We want to come up here to Claude and we want to say, okay, now I want to test one of these skills to make sure they actually work. Let's do the video dashboard one. And you can tell me what to type. Yes. So I think it's going to have me reload plugins. Now this is, I've had some issues with this before where it says, oh, you're ready to go, and it isn't. So let me go ahead and do reload plugins and let's see if this works. And we just lost our MCP there, our playwright, because it's one of the plugins. And now let's do video. Do we see it? No. So what we're going to do is we're going to quit Claude Code, and then we're going to open it back up again, which refreshes everything. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a little bit messy. Let's go ahead and do it this way instead. So again, we need to navigate to our MOOC folder, open Claude, resume our previous conversation. Okay, so now let's test it. And let's say I don't see the slash commands or plugin we just made when I type a /. I already restarted Claude Code. So here we go. The issue is the plugin location. We created it at Claude Plugins, but Claude Code discovers the project local plugins from Claude/plugins, not Claude-plugins. Simple things you'd think it would be baked in by now. And it's kind of, again, it's kind of ironic to have this whole thing be about, you can make skills that prevents Claude from making mistakes, and then it can't even do it right using its own skills to create skills. But this is why we test. This is why we make sure that before we just say, yeah, we did it, we make sure that it actually works properly. So we'll see what happens here. And then when it's done, we'll restart Claude Code again, and boom, we will ultimately end up with, there we go. Okay. Reload plugins. Okay. And now type video. Nope. So let's try quitting and restarting again, and then resuming. Nope. Not in here. I love this. Let me check the settings and try the proper installation method. Oh, that would be great. Wouldn't it be awesome if you just started with the proper installation method? And there we are. It copied them over to the global level. I don't even need to run the reload plugins, but I'm going to do it anyway. And if we type video, we see video frames, video download, video dashboard. If I hit enter, we can see video dashboard is loading up. The skills are loaded and working. I can see all 4. Now let me follow the skills workflow. We already have the Mamdani project data, so let's start with step 1. And here we go. We're launching into it again for building a dashboard. Boom, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to exit this, and that's it. Less than 2 hours from idea and nothing but a project folder to full breakdown, full analysis, web content, 4 skills, 1 plugin, a plugin display page where people can see and share and download and use and edit it themselves. You can't do that in the web browser, and you can't beat that workflow. So while this is running, here is your task for this module. Your assignment is to create or set up or run a workflow somewhat similar to what we did, or your own completely different workflow. But along the way, as Claude is going through this process and as you're working through it and it's running all of its tasks, take notes just like I did, implement things or note things you want it to remember, and then you are going to build your own slash commands or your own plugin based on the insights and the lessons that you've learned over the course of doing your own workflow. It can be simple, it can be complex. Obviously, the more complex the workflow, the more likely you are to need and then be able to generate skills and plugins. And if you want, you can head over to the link on the screen right now, skills.amditas.tech, and look through some of the pre-made skills that I have prepared for you. In particular, there are a couple plugins that I really like. Specifically, the one-way door skill is one of my favorites. As I mentioned earlier, the PDF Playground skill is interactive and it is really useful. I think you'll like that one. But there's also a whole range of other ones, including skills and plugins that help you update the context of your own skills. So go ahead and head over to that skills.amditas.tech URL, browse that page, let me know if you see anything that I should add or that is missing, maybe install the plugins yourself and test them out, and then also try installing your plugin and see how you do. And when you're done with that, head over to the instructor forums and we can discuss even further. Good luck.